Hello there, and welcome back. This video will show how I built my gauntlet. I will explain the electronics in my next video. I started with a PVC pipe that was 2 feet long and 3 inches wide. I drew a line around the pipe where I wanted to cut it. You can wrap a piece of paper around the pipe to make sure you draw a straight line. The pipe was a little longer than the length of the 2 gauntlets put together, so I marked where I was going to cut off the extra pipe. I then cut the pipe in half using my Dremel. I also cut the pieces in half horizontally, marking the pieces so I wouldn't mix them up. I cut some triangles out of Sintra and glued them on, in order to give the pipe more of a cone-like shape. Next, I mounted hinges onto one side of the pipe. I found that gluing them on works just as well as using screws. Make sure that your hinges are lined up properly, or they won't open and close smoothly. I put some craft foam over the hinges. I put some squishy foam on the inside as padding, but I had to take it out because my arm didn't fit with it in. I formed the gauntlet with a heat gun to give it more of a cone shape. I then sanded it down accordingly. I cut the end of the pipe so that it would be flat, and this also made it fit better. Now that the gauntlet had its basic shape, it was time to figure out how to close it. I tried using magnets, but there was no way magnets were going to keep it closed. So I took a small hinge and removed the pin. I then screwed each side of the hinge onto the gauntlet. Again, it's important that the hinges are lined up. The screws stuck out on the inside of the gauntlet, so I cut them off with the Dremel. I had to be careful not to melt the PVC pipe, as the screws get very hot when you are cutting them. I then cut and bent a paper clip to use as a removable pin. Once I had finished the electronics and knife function, I cut and built up the gauntlet with Sintra so that it could hold them. I made a case for the battery that can slide on and off. And I cut out a big piece of Sintra to cover all the electronics. I added a cover to the knife function as well. Once everything else was done, I glued in the LCD screen. I went through and filled the seams with spackle. Then I sanded the seams and beveled the edges. Then I added a flamethrower, which I made from a smaller PVC pipe. Then I weathered the gauntlet. I masked off the LCD screen and primed the armor. And that's how I built my Mandalorian gauntlet. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
When I realize I have over 16 hours of footage to edit,